Hey everybody, it's your girl Annette J. Morris, the owner and CEO of Goal Getter LLC, and y'all know it's our vision at Goal Getter LLC to help women monetize their God-given gifts, convert their gift into a 5 to 7 figure income generating business that supports their lives and legacies. And I am your host for the Mind TV series. Y'all know every week we bring a new entrepreneur. I'm not gonna even say new entrepreneur. I'm gonna say an entrepreneur every week that talks about how their entrepreneurship journey moves their lives in new directions. And this is my co-host.
Yes,
This not even a guest no more. This the co-host. I told y'all last time. I think he is. I'm convinced at this point he is the co-host. Now he may not be here every week, but he is the co-host. Period.
Yes.
Just understand that, okay? Tell the people who you are again.
Again, I'm Shelton D. Johnson Sr., the creator and founder of Dominion Network. So if you ever see my face and somebody else's face on the couch, you know she's not here and the co-host has taken over.
Yes, the co-host has taken over. So tell the people what we're talking about this week.
We're talking about discipline. That's a big part of life, our well-being in totality. And that oftentimes it gets swept under the rug. You know, it's not one of those sexy things when we talk about personal growth, personal development, when we talk about wealth, when we talk about entrepreneurship, when we talk about parenting, career choice. Discipline is not at the top of the list. In a lot of cases, if not most cases, the title in and of itself is not even discussed or even brought up.
Correct, because it's not comfortable.
At
Discipline is not a comfortable conversation. So if it's anybody that's living in their comfort zone or even remotely just trying to crawl out of it, we don't want to talk about discipline because it's going to really pull us out of our comfort zone.
Right.
Because it requires us to do something that a lot of people, most people are not successful because they're not disciplined.
Exactly.
Right? So you have like your 1%ers, so which means like 99% of the population is not comfortable talking about discipline because they're not comfortable with being disciplined.
Correct.
Right? Okay, so let's talk about how discipline impacts your, if we're talking about 1% of the population is extremely successful,
Right.
why is the other 99% not in correlation with discipline?
So F.W. Alexander said this, and I quote, and it's a quote, and he said, "No one," and I'm paraphrasing this, "no one decides success or to be successful." He said, "Men and women decide their habits, and their habits make them successful."
Correct.
And so, what builds our habits? Well, it's discipline ultimately that builds our habits.
Absolutely, absolutely. And what type of habits do you think, or do you know? I don't want to say do you think because you're a successful individual. What habits have you implemented into your life, discipline-wise, to help you to get to your level of success?
Well, first and foremost, wealth is health. Health is wealth. So first and foremost, and I'm not talking about spiritual things now, I'm talking about just natural things, is a healthy gym regimen. By far, because you can have all the money in the world, but if you're not healthy enough to spend it
Right.
or to enjoy it,
It's not logical to have it.
then it's not logical to have it. So I tell people the first thing you start off is with health. And the thing about health is once you develop the willpower to discipline this body, then you can develop the willpower to discipline yourself in any area. You just have to know how to take those same processes and systems that you apply there and apply them to someone else. I think one of the most discouraging things for me in the gym is when I see a guy or a lady in the gym that is absolutely, completely a walking specimen, but have a conversation with them and realize that their life as a whole is in shambles. Because nothing will challenge you more than disciplining yourself to take care of your body. So it's a disconnect when you can go to the gym every day, an hour and a half, 2 hours in the gym, have this wonderful body, but then your finances are jacked up, relationship is jacked up, so on and so forth. So there's a misappropriation of applying discipline in other areas of your life. But once you can master that, you can master discipline in any area.
So let me tell you my thoughts on that, right? This morning I had a podcast interview, and I'm a therapist, so I'm always leaning to the side of prioritizing mental health and then physical health, right? And so my thing is, I think we have to discipline our minds first, even before we discipline the body.
Right. So the curious thing though is they can work in harmony. So because we're all kind of dialed up a little bit different. So say for example, and I've proven this. If I'm in the gym 4 to 5 times a week, every other area in my life is gonna fall in line, right? Because ultimately, once I start to discipline my body, it helped me discipline my mind. Some people, they have to have one then the other. Some can have them kind of like simultaneously, similar to what I do. But you're exactly right. It has to, a big portion of that does start mentally, because if not, you're going to have a breakdown in that.
Correct.
I mean, even if you do start off with your health first, if you don't develop that mindset, then sooner or later this is going to fall off.
Absolutely.
So you got to strengthen that mental capacity, and that's one of the reasons why we see such a decline in mental toughness and ability. This generation, I've heard the word anxiety, depression used more in this generation than ever before in my whole entire lifetime. Where in the hell are y'all coming up with all this anxiety? I mean, really, where's it coming from? So a lot of it's coming from is because, number one, parenting. We hadn't parent the struggle, or we hadn't parent them to deal with the toughness of life. We haven't parented them to deal with the no's in life and the setbacks and the failures. So you gotta have that mental toughness. And if you don't have, like you said, if you don't have mental health in play, when life hits you on the blind side, your world is gonna come tumbling down.
Absolutely. And the thing about it is, we as parents, because we grew up, I feel like our age and our generation, we grew up on the rough side of the mountain, like the old people used to say, right? So we know what the struggle is.
That song was made for us.
Yeah. We grew up on the rough side of the mountain. So I know a lot of times, and I was talking to a friend about this recently, like our thing was, we don't want our children to endure the same thing that we did. And we spare them, we spare them from the struggle, but not realizing like the struggle really built character for us, right? And so we deprived them of something that built character for us. It gave us strength. It gave us that mental toughness, but now they don't. That's why like the suicide rate is so high.
And you're right, but because that's one of the things that I research and study a lot, and now, after pondering on it, we kind of had no choice. The reason being is because, let's take for example myself. I grew up never having my own room, sleeping on pallets, sleeping on floors. So as I began to matriculate through life, how I'm gonna make my kids sleep on pallets and sleep on floors?
Right, we ain't gonna do that.
You can't. And even if I did, they know better. They know that they still have a room that they sleep in by themselves. I believe the challenge is that we didn't give them the responsibility, right? And the responsibility was how we recreated the struggle. For example, starting off young, making my son at 3, 4 take the trash out. Right? That's the closest thing that I could come to in certain situations, the struggle, right? Allowing him to make as many mistakes as I possibly can early on. Because remember now, you and I are in a place where our life relieve people from struggle.
Correct.
You see what I'm saying? So now we can't just say, well, we're gonna make you go through this, because our life is beyond that. So what we have to do is we have to use responsibility, we have to use situations, we have to use circumstance to help kind of shape the mind. But me and you may have walked everywhere we went. Whereas kids these days at cars, at 16 it's almost a mandatory thing that you have a car. Well, what you gonna do? Not buy them a car and then get in the car with their friends?
Right, exactly.
So responsibility is the big thing driving the new generations as far as what we see, but that all comes out of discipline. And so what we see now is, I always ask people, like even when I pastor, what's your time that you meet with Jesus every morning? And people would just look at me. You have a time to go to work. You have a time for a doctor's appointment. You have times and appointments for your coaching clients. We have time and appointments for everything. Where's the discipline when it comes down to having a specific time, whether it's 5 o'clock or 4 a.m. or 6 a.m. or 10 a.m. But where's the specific time that we have set aside just to talk to Jesus? And it doesn't matter if it's 5 minutes or 5 hours. what is your specific time? And God is like the doctor or like urgent care. We got our specific times that we go to God. We got specific times that we have annual checkups. But if anything happened in that time, we do what? We walk in. God is the same way. If I pray like I pray, my morning time is 3 o'clock in the morning, right? After that prayer time is over, if there's something that I need to deal with God about, I'm just going back and walk in.
I'm going to do a walk-in appointment.
An urgent care appointment.
Yeah.
I'm going back in. And so the discipline is important because the discipline gives us that. It gives us that consistent time that I have set aside with God. It gives us that consistent time that we have set aside with ourselves. The number one thing I believe that drives discipline is a daily routine. It's having a daily routine. And so that is vitally important because I ask people all the time, how is it that you have time for your job, for your husband, for your children, for your family, your friend, your coaching clients, but you don't have a specific time set aside every day for you? And so what I found out is people work harder on their jobs than they do on themselves, and then wonder why they never surpass the income of a job. Is because you yourself hadn't changed. You hadn't added any more value to yourself. So whether it's $15 an hour, $20 an hour, or $40 an hour, that's where you are because you're practically the same person.
That's because they prioritize the job and not prioritize self.
Exactly. Exactly.
So that's the thing. Like I was this morning, again, I was on a podcast this morning because I have a speaking engagement in Maryland in November, and it's to talk about mental wellness and self-care to HR professionals. But what the guy was saying, he was asking me some questions, and I said the reason being is because many people don't prioritize themselves.
Right.
So like you even asked, like, what time do you allocate to Jesus? A lot of people don't because they feel like, oh, I have so much going on, I have to squeeze that in, right? And I've asked a lot of people, like, what is your self-care routine? How consistent are you implementing self-care? Like, what are you doing? And a lot of people are like, I just don't have time to do it. That's because in their mind, they have to squeeze that in as opposed to prioritizing it. What does prioritizing it look like? Either starting your day with it or ending your day with it, not trying to squeeze it into a day. Like that time that you allocate to God should be like, that should be your first thing you do when you wake up in the morning. When you open your eyes and realize, I'm alive, seeing another day, that's your time to be like, you know what, God, thank you for that, because you didn't have to do that, right? But also that should be your mindset for yourself. Like, I need to allocate time for myself, and that time should be intentional and it should be a priority. You shouldn't be squeezing you into your day. Like, you could squeeze a lot of stuff into your day, but you and God should not be the squozing part of the day. Is that a word? Did I make that up? Squoze?
We have a right.
Okay.
We have a right. At Mind TV, we have a right.
Okay. To make up any words we want to make up, okay?
Any words.
So you shouldn't be squoze into your day, and neither should God be squoze into your day, okay? That should be priority.
Yes. Within the next year, please check out Webster for squozing.
Okay. Because it's going to be there. We're going to make sure, man.
We're going to make sure. We're going through the process. We're going to change some things out there.
Absolutely. So how did you come about, because again, this is an uncomfortable conversation.
Right.
So what made you want to have the controversial, uncomfortable conversation about discipline?
Well, as I get older, I always tell people there's 3 people in my life, in all of our lives. But if you come into my life, these 3 people, I don't tolerate excuses. Pastors, preachers, and grown men. That's just me. And if you become a coaching client, then you're going to get that same treatment. No excuses. So for example, you've heard people say this, I'm not a morning person.
I've heard that.
Right? Well, who taught you that?
Right.
I've yet, at the tender age of 49, I've yet to run into a successful person
They woke up in the evening.
who said that I'm not a morning person. I have yet to do it. Maybe you have.
Because successful people don't wake up in the evening.
They get it done in the morning.
And they wake up between 3 and 4.
Think,
Between 3 and 5.
right. Where do you think that come from? Jesus himself got started when? Early. Even God got started early. The Bible says that in the beginning was the word, blah, blah, blah. Then Genesis 1 and 3, he said, let there be light. So when he started, it was morning time. It was dark. Right? So I looked at life that I wanted to be able to help people to really hone in on this particular area that we don't talk about, so that we can gain an understanding and then use some tools and some principles that we can apply to our daily life and see success. You know, I'm under the understanding that yes, we have to have a target audience. Yes, we have to narrow it down, but I do believe that there's a message that grapples or it grasps such mass number of people, like the need for discipline. Like, I can help an entrepreneur, I can help a single mother, I can help a struggling couple, I can help a basketball coach, a football player, a hockey coach, a minister. It doesn't matter. I can help you because discipline is one of those areas that it touches everybody. Even animals, even dogs are trained in discipline to do certain things and not to do other things. So I wanted to be able to help as many people as I can. Trained for 15 years in the United States Army. I played college basketball, and the sum total of the success that I ascertained had everything to do with discipline. And so I learned some things. I learned that there's a difference between internal discipline and external discipline. That is huge. That's huge because internal discipline is what you external discipline is how we govern our children in our house, because that discipline is not coming from on the inside of them, it's coming from us. So that's an external discipline. So the moment they leave out that door, they're introduced to the world as they know it. Now we're going to see how much internal discipline they really have, because now they don't have to do what you say do.
Correct.
They have to do what they want to do based on what they taught them, that they allowed to be on the inside of them. And so internal versus external discipline was huge. And now learning that, I've learned that I want to teach other people that, hey, look, external discipline, your job, the police force, the military, your organization is great. External discipline gives us an idea. It gives us tools and processes and systems that we can take those things, internalize those things, and build up on them so that they can become a part of us. And now we have the internal discipline to go out there and deal with life. So that's why I came up with the discipline triangle. You have knowledge at the top, action, and then you have routine. Now here's what's significant. And I was meditating and this blew my mind. So as coaches, we develop these plans and we call them inner circles, right? Okay, so Jesus had an inner circle, right? That we would say was inner circle. Who was his inner circle?
The disciples.
Peter, James, and John, right? Okay, but that's not a circle.
Right, that's a triangle.
That's a triangle.
Correct.
Right? So we think about the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit.
The Holy
it's the
Trinity.
Holy Trinity. It's tri. It's a triangle. Now, I know this, that a triangle, if it's not, it's one of the most strongest geometrical shapes. Strong. So when I created the discipline triangle, at the top you have knowledge, here you have action, and then here you have routine. Well, in this discipline triangle, these four sides are momentum builders. So you have knowledge at the top. This momentum builder is applied knowledge, because you can have knowledge and do a certain
nothing,
portion or do nothing,
won't
but
be
applied
successful.
knowledge is going to build momentum. So then when you get to action, you have action, but the momentum builder is massive action. So then when you get to routine, your routine is there, but your momentum builder is reviewed or reflected routine. In other words, I have to look at my routine, whether it's monthly, quarterly, or weekly, right? I have to look at my routine and actually review it to see if it's getting me the
working.
results that I want to get. And so the more I gain knowledge, the more I apply that knowledge, and drives massive amounts of action, so that now my routine is in line and my routine is working. On the inside of this discipline triangle, it builds, or the result of discipline is willpower. See, because willpower is the ability to do what I don't want to do, even though it needs to be done. That's what willpower. So the greater you are, or the more discipline you have, the greater your willpower will be. So even when you want to do something, that's why Paul experienced the reverse of willpower. Paul said, listen, when I want to do good, evil is ever present. Well, why is that? Because there's a will inside of me that's battling against the will of God. God that innate by nature, that's stronger.
Right.
But if I don't supplant that with the word of God, fasting and praying, then I'll succumb to what I shouldn't do,
Right.
to my flesh. And so that's where the ultimate goal is with discipline, is to get willpower. Because you know, there's many a days you don't want to go to the gym.
There's many.
So what enables you to go to the gym? Your discipline now has matured to what we call willpower. So when your body say no and then stay in the bed, willpower say get up, get dressed, go to the gym.
Correct.
And what do? Get up, get dressed, and go to the gym.
Yep.
So when we look at our world, we see our world is full of people with a weak willpower.
Correct. Absolutely.
They body say stay in the bed, no
okay,
problem.
I'm gonna stay. Yeah, I'm gonna stay.
No problem. Oh, have another drink. Pour me up. You know, and so after a while you get comfortable. So now your body, it doesn't fight anything. Whatever your body want to do, it's just looseness, right? Oh, you want to have 5 donuts? Go ahead. Oh, you want to sleep in? Go ahead. It's Saturday morning. You don't have to go to work. This is your time to develop yourself. Guess what you do? You sleep in. So developing that discipline drives the result of willpower. And there's all of us comes a time where we need willpower. We've seen people that are alive today because of willpower. You know, we've seen that. And so I wanted to be able to help people gain that willpower by way of discipline, so that they can become whatever it is. If they wanted to be a better parent, a better spouse, because a big part of relationships is communication and discipline.
Correct.
Are you disciplining yourself enough to be able to do the things that you don't want to do, that your spouse wants you to do, so that the marriage can gel, so that the marriage can flow, so there can be synergy in the marriage, there can be synergy in the partnership. And so discipline is a big part of that. And so I wanted to be able to help people go to the next level, scale their mindset, so that they can gain the discipline, increase their willpower, and live a successful life.
That's good. And as far as like you mentioned, like going to the gym, at one time I hated going to the gym.
Right.
Absolutely hated it. And I would start and I would be good for a few months, and then I fall off, and then fall off for about a year, and then get back to it. You know what I'm saying? So it was like a lot of inconsistency, but I literally at a certain point had to make up in my mind, like, I'm going to conquer this and overcome this, you know, whatever it is. They keep telling me, oh, you don't have to go, or you can eat these 5 donuts. I literally had to make up my mind. And it's literally as, I don't want to say easy, but it's as simple as making a decision, right? Once you convince yourself in your mind that, hey, I'm gonna overcome this, I'm gonna do this, the mind is literally like clay. Like, you mold the mind into doing whatever you want it to do. Once you make up your mind to say, I'm going to do this no matter what, then you'll do whatever that is, right? If you tell yourself, oh, I ain't gonna do this, the mind be like, oh, all right. You know what I mean? Like, okay, we're not gonna do it, right? We're not gonna eat these 5 donuts. We're not gonna eat these 5 donuts. We're gonna eat these 5 donuts. Okay, the mind gonna do whatever it is that you say y'all gonna do, right? The mind gonna come into agreement with you, right? So you have to literally make a decision, make up your mind, this is what's gonna happen, this is what we're not gonna do, whatever it is, and follow up, right? So if it's getting in shape, you do know getting in shape starts with the mind. You move into the kitchen, so you can't be eating all the donuts and still talking about I'm going to work out, because that still don't work either. I tried it, I know, you know, because I used to be telling myself, girl, you went worked out this morning, you can eat them 2 donuts. Yep, ain't lost no pounds, none of that. I ain't gained much, but I didn't lose much either, right? And so that doesn't work. Like, you literally have to make up your mind, get in the kitchen, change what you put in your body, and partner that with working out. I started realizing that working out wasn't just beneficial to my brain, to my body either. It feels so good to my mentals. Like, some days I get up and my brain be like overwhelming me, and I have a little anxiety going. I'm like, let me get to the gym, and I feel 10 times better once I get back from the gym. So it's not only like it doesn't only have physical benefits, it definitely has mental benefits as well. Show the people the book, because we only have a few minutes left. I want them to see. He wrote a book about it. This goes to show you how serious he is about this discipline thing. He wrote a book about it, penned it, so that you all can get the book. You all can also get coaching from him to learn discipline. If you exercise discipline in one area of your life, it transcends into so many other areas. You discipline with your physical health and your exercise, you'll start realizing you'll develop those habits and move them into your business. You could develop them habits into your mental health area. You develop those habits in your finances, right? Discipline transcends. So once you can, pin down discipline in one area, it starts to transcend in so many other areas.
Yes, it does.
Yes, tell them a little bit about the book because we got about 2 minutes left.
The book really, the thing that I like about writing is number one, I get a chance to live forever. And two, I get a chance to give people strategies to be able to help them change their lives and change the trajectory of their lives. The good thing about discipline is that it gives you multiple tools, multiple situations, because some tools may not work for you, then others may. So we try to give you as many situations, as many tools as we possibly can to be able to help people. Like, you heard me talk about a lot about definition of external discipline. Here's one. But what if discipline? What if the discipline I don't choose, the discipline I don't like, I don't choose? My alarm goes off. I choose to sleep in, wake up with my son, always love him, and leave for work. I'm emotionally and mentally disappointed in myself because I ought to have gotten up and worked out. We just got to talk about that, right?
Yep.
It's to be able to, even though the alarm go off, we still need to get up. We still need to wake up. And then here you go. The definition of external discipline is something else on the inside, outside. External discipline often comes with consequences because you depend on others to control your behavior, and that's what we see with the external discipline. But internal discipline is those things that I developed within myself, whether I got it from you because you applied external discipline, now I take it and it becomes a part of my daily life and behavior. It helps me become successful.
Yep, so that's good, y'all. I want y'all to get the book. Tell the people where they could get the book.
You can get the book, you can go on my Instagram link.
Okay. Oh, okay.
There's a
Your
link
tree?
in my bio.
Okay.
And you'll be able to get the book there. I also offer 30 days of coaching, 90 days of coaching, and a strategic call for 1 hour.
Awesome. So they can get discipline coaching.
Discipline coaching, let me discipline you along with yourself.
And you'll be much better in life and in business, especially if you're an entrepreneur, y'all. Just to let you know that, okay? Just a little hint.
Yeah.
Tell the people your Instagram.
My Instagram is Shelton D. Johnson Sr. That's SRSHELTON DJOHNSONSR on Instagram.
On Instagram.
And this
that's where
book,
y'all can
of
get
course,
the book.
is to the host of the Mind TV.
Thank you. I got mine for you. I got yours. Well, good. I want my autograph just to let you know before you leave. Okay. All right, y'all. So thank y'all so much for joining us this week. You got any parting words you want to tell the people? Y'all go to the gym. That's the first thing.
Yeah, go to the gym without a doubt. But let me say this: the world is changing to a place where it's no longer going to be compassionate on people who have ability that do nothing. And so, not only that, our world is changing because a lot of jobs that we did, notice I said did, those jobs are going to be gone. So we're going to have to discipline ourselves to go to another level of learning, earning, and another level of pursuing and seeking better opportunities, and also seeking the better version of ourselves. And if you need help, you can find me on any social media outlet at Shelton D. Johnson Sr.
Awesome. Well, y'all, thank y'all so much for joining us this week. You know the catch. Join us next week, same time, same place. We're going to bring you a new entrepreneur that's going to be talking about how their entrepreneurship journey has moved their life in new directions. Or to be your co-host. You never know who's going to be back next week. If you see him, then it's co-host time. If it's somebody else, then it's a new entrepreneur. So whoever it is, see y'all next week. Same time, same station, same time. Bye, y'all. See y'all later. Welcome to Go Getter University. It's the home and a one-stop for entrepreneurs teaching all things entrepreneurship. We have courses ranging from how to start a business, how to start a nonprofit organization, to how to generate your first 10K consistent month, on to grant writing. Anything that you want to learn about entrepreneurship, it is in Go Getter University. Follow us at www.goalgetteruniversity.com to register.
Introducing Writitation Meditation Journal, your guide to meditation for beginners. Are you finding it challenging to sit still and meditate? With our journal, you can embrace your thoughts and feelings during meditation. Let the words flow as you explore your inner world. Writitation helps you document your progress, reflections, and insights. Remember, meditation is a personal voyage, and our journal is here to make it comfortable and fulfilling. Start your meditation journey today with Writitation Meditation Journal.